Greetings, wholeness, and blessings. I'll leave the date in the description. It's early March 2024. This was 60 yards of wood chips. I've moved it one wheelbarrow at a time over to the farm, establishing deep composition of mulches. And this is what's left. We got this pile, this pile, this pile. Today's work consisted of getting the leaves that I had gotten dropped back in the fall, whatever was left from the leaf piles, one wheelbarrow at a time, spreading them on the beds for some more deep composition. I'm on top of the wood chip pile right now. So let's go take a look at the work that I've accomplished today and see what's about to be growing and about to be planting. So, Jerusalem artichokes, red raspberries that I started from 2 little raspberry suckers. Fall of 2022. Now here we are going into spring of 2024, and I've got a whole row of raspberry plants. Now I'm just going to run down the whole farm and explain what's going on here. Vegetable production pathway. Vegetable production. A whole bed dedicated to elderberry cuttings to be rooted and then either planted in the landscape or sold and then propagated more. Vegetable production pathway, vegetable production, potato bed. These are all the leaves that I laid today. And so there was grass scythed, put down, and then wood chip pathway laid down the middle, and now two more garden paths. I'm sorry, 2 more beds for planting vegetable production. So move on. Potato bed, vegetable production, pathway, vegetable production, 3rd potato bed, and then vegetable production, pathway, garlic bed, and garlic bed. And if we go take a quick look real quick, you can see that the garlic is starting to come up. Just a little bit. But that's enough to tell that spring is almost here. And I'd say that that's coming up probably a month early due to how warm it has been. So these were the leaves that I laid today. So just to reiterate and explain what has happened here, all the way out to that back corner from where I'm standing and over to that little green patch and back, all of this has been scythed with a European scythe. All of that grass from over there and here has stayed in the plot, and then I laid these with leaves. It sat the whole winter and green was starting to come through, so I laid another layer of leaves on it. And these beds were much I laid thicker leaves on them in the fall, so I went to the beds that needed it the most. But you can even see right here there is something popping through, so I'm going to want to keep that in check, and I will. But yeah, and then The garlic beds, they were grass, wood chips, leaves, and then I put more grass on top, and then I put even more leaves on top of that grass. So a deep, deep composition bed, giving a whole bunch of fertility to the garlic and tree crop seeds that are planted. And if I could just show real quick what happens through, see, this is a perennial weed, and that's why that's able to push through, because it has a really established root system. But if you go right here, or the mulch wasn't thick enough, if you go right here where it was thick, see, it still hasn't really, I mean, there's this little green right here, but for the most part, that's soil now. What was grass, pasture, is now soil. So I didn't till, I didn't disturb the soil in any way. So there's no till and there's no dig. And no dig is like a step up from no till, in my opinion, just because you're doing even less disturbance of the soil. And something that my mentor talks about is that now you have to think, not only did I just lay this very deep composition and not disturb the mycorrhizal fungi at all, but now we have all of those perennial root systems that are going to decompose and feed nutrients to the soil as well. So let's run it back. I got about 3 more minutes. Garlic bed, veggies, garlic bed, veggies, third garlic bed, veggies, and then 1, 2, 3 potato beds, veggie production all in between. And what you need to keep in mind is that all season potatoes are going to come out, mid-season potatoes are going to come out, mid-season potatoes are going to come out. All that garlic is going to come out in mid-July. So when all of those big beds harvest, then they can be replanted with the starter plants, that seedlings that I will have ready. Ooh, buddy. And when I talk about it all like that, I've got my work cut out for me. It seems that we've made it through the winter, but don't be fooled. We are known, based upon my records, known to drop back down to 19 degrees Fahrenheit right before the end of March. I'm talking always on like March, between March 27th and March 31st. There is always, not always, but pretty consistently drops back down into the teens. So I cannot allow myself to be fooled, because I have been fooled many years in a row. We get this kind of like what it was today, calm, no wind, blue skies, 50 degrees, and then the last 10 days of March are also the windiest of the entire season. So prepare for all that. And that's why I'm holding off on starting all my seedlings. And much love to the brother Ethan I'll link to that video here of his perspective on the greenhouse break. And while I was getting all that work done today, he was able to go in and make a few more last-minute reinforcements before we get this expected snowfall Sunday. And today is Friday, and I will leave the date in the description. So one love, wholeness from JsGrassFedGarden, Jay's Deep Composition Farm, to filtrate any and all toxic chemicals that might try to penetrate and infiltrate and poison this food. The soil inevitably will cleanse all of that. That's a hard perspective. It's taken me a long time to wrap my mind around, and there's limits to that. But we'll talk about more of that as the future progresses. So one love, wholeness, here we are in the beginning of March. And what's the saying? I want to be ready to hit the ground running. And we are, come April 1st. So one love, wholeness. Thank you for everyone's support. More farm updates when the time is right. Peace and blessings.